Hey, have you ever wanted to be a wizard?
Like in real life?
Yeah.
Uh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I
So
mean,
I've been playing this game called Fictorum.
okay.
It's on Steam sale. Very, 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 very much worth it.
I mean, I don't want to be a wizard in a video game. That sounds dumb.
Yeah, I know, but being that we can't be a wizard in real life like we all want to be, and let's be honest, we all want to be a wizard in life. You could be one in a video game and
I,
literally blow up everything, and it's amazing.
well, it really depends. So, being a wizard, like if you're a magician, like a professional magician, I would consider you to be a real life wizard.
That's not the same thing.
Now, did you ever watch the movie King Arthur?
Uh, I think so. I've seen so many of the Arthur films. I think I saw
Right.
that one.
This was one
That was with
done.
the one with Keira Knightley in it. I think
I think so. I can double check real
like
quick.
two. Oh, geez, I'm gonna say a year, and I'm gonna be
Yeah,
off by like a fucking decade. So never mind.
2004. Yeah.
Holy shit! I was gonna say 2005. I would have been right.
So Clive Owen is King Arthur. Hugh Dancy is Galahad. Mickelson is Tristan, and they got a bunch of other big name people that are in the film. I love this film. It's one of my favorite King Arthur films because it takes like a real life historical kind of like
More so,
perspective to the
yeah,
film.
yeah.
Yeah,
They've tried that a couple times since then.
right. And it's all failed. This one kept just enough of the fantasy, like the fantastical grandeur to make the movie really good, and I really like the film.
Yeah,
Um,
I
but
do remember enjoying it. I don't remember a lot about it because it's been 15 years
yeah,
since I've seen it, but
well, one thing that's always stuck in my head was Merlin. Okay, and Merlin in this film is a spellcaster. He's a shaman, I think, more than anything else.
right.
But everyone's very scared of him because he has this otherworldly kind of presence that he gives off and scares the crap out of people. And one scene in the movie stuck with me, and it's basically they make a bunch of fog roll out of the forest.
I
Okay,
remember that actually,
and
yeah.
then he walks out by himself, his balls in hand, and starts taunting the enemy army by himself and starts dancing around and just chanting like he's casting a spell. And then in the force from the fog, they start launching catapult rocks at the army. And
Right.
everyone's like, holy crap, this guy is summoning meteors to destroy us. And they run away. Like that man was a wizard. He
Which is
figured
I just want to point out you said summoning meteors, which is literally what I've spent the last hour doing playing Fictorum. I've been dropping fucking meteors out of the sky on bad guys, and it's so good.
yeah.
But no, I yeah, that's I love that idea. You know, just the if I recall right, he's really just sort of a spiritual leader slash shaman.
Yeah. He's
Yeah,
just a crazy guy.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, he's like half of the religious leaders we have nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing witchcraft.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I looked at the game you said. The reviews are mostly positive. It's an older style engine, but
yeah.
gameplay is trumps
Graphically,
graphics.
graphically, this thing looks like PS2 or PS3. It's pretty dated. It's not pretty to look at by any means. But dropping fucking 6 meteors on enemies at the same time and watching towers explode when you do it, yeah, yeah, it's so worth it. Makes me like it really just makes me wish that wizards were broke as hell in D&D, like really, really broke.
Yeah.
You know, when you cast Meteor Swarm, say triple it. That's what I want. Just triple Meteor Swarm. It casts it 3 times when you do it once.
There's an older game back like I don't know, maybe 2000s as well called Magica. Have you ever heard of that one?
Heard of it. I don't recall
Um,
ever playing it.
this is like a gauntlet style video game. And so you control your guy running around like a field at a three-quarter perspective, and you actually punch in like different button combinations to cast a spell.
Right.
So let's say like you wanted to throw like a chain lightning spell. Well, you would have to hit like lightning bolt, force, lightning bolt, force, and they would like throw out this chain lightning, and that was like the concept of the game. Like you had to figure out
Throwing
and
Mortal
create these
Kombat, yeah,
weird,
throwing
yeah,
Mortal
button
Kombat
combos.
style, yeah,
Yeah,
Mortal Kombat style combos.
kind of to a degree. But it was really interesting. It was fairly popular 20 years ago in the
Yeah,
before times.
yeah, in the olden days.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Give it a check. It's like what, $3?
yeah, like Steam sale right now, it's less than $5. I think it's definitely less than 10. It
It's
was,
$2.50.
yeah, and I have gotten, I don't know, 15. Nope, maybe 10 hours of play out of it already this weekend. Which, I mean, I haven't been doing much this weekend. We didn't get to D&D on Saturday, so
Aw, why not?
uh, reasons,
Play
reasons.
Players are bad.
No. Players had other stuff going on, so it
Mm.
is what it is. Sometimes you don't get to play. Uh,
Well, I got to play 2 games this weekend, so I made it up for you.
you got to play 2 games, or you got to play one and run one.
I got to play one and run one.
Okay.
Yeah. So, the the one that I played was my player against those subbing in for me on the D&D, on the Grumpy Dungeon Master stream, and he played my second publication. Everyone's Been Naughty,
Of
and
which
he
I've
did.
I, of which I have run. Go back and listen to
Yeah,
the podcast about that. But it's fucking great. It's so much fun.
it was great. It was funny though, sitting from the player side
Mhm.
while I'm having this thing run, and I'm just like, oh god, that's horrible. Oh god, I wrote that wrong. Oh god, I can't believe he interpreted it that way. I meant it for it to be this way, and just like all the problems.
Every e- every artist, every writer is their own worst critic. I mean, that's just the truth of
Yeah,
it.
but there were a couple of major problems that I found in the write up that I was just like, well, crap, I got to fix that for next time. Like if I release version 2 or something.
Yeah.
There were a couple places where I didn't swap out like copy paste errors, but those are irrelevant. But there was one area where like I had somebody, they were doing a save, and I said you have to do a check instead, which is really
Yeah.
weird that I wrote it that way because it made sense when I wrote it. And then when I was running my game today, I did the same thing in my notes where I wrote a check instead of a save, and it was very interesting.
Yeah, and oddly enough, that's one of those just little word snafus that actually makes a big difference. There's a
Yeah.
big difference between save and check.
So it was really weird that I messed it up like that. But I had a lot of fun in the game. What I also found was weird too is that when you ran Everyone's Been Naughty, you guys ran about 4 or 5 hours, right?
3?
But that was
3?
long for you.
No, that was a short game. It was
Okay.
3 to 4 hours. Now, mind you, they skipped an entire encounter.
Okay.
So if they had not gone, because it is the players get a choice of which way to go, and they end up taking the route that took them right to the end of the game.
Yeah.
So that was easily an hour or more knocked off of game time.
Because when we did it, he ran all the encounters. We kind of stumbled into everything, and it took us 5 hours to go through it. And like it's only 3.5 encounters when you really get down to it.
Yeah,
And
it's
I'm just
pretty
surprised
pretty
how it
short.
takes so long. It's really weird. I got to figure out what I'm doing wrong.
Well, I don't think
And
you're doing anything wrong. And like a standard D&D game, I would expect to be about 5 hours.
yeah,
Most people. I say most people. I don't know. I know that my games we start typically around 6 o'clock and we run till about midnight. So I typically, my typical games on Saturdays are about 6 hours. There have been some that were about 8. When I was younger, there were entire weekends dedicated to it, but can't do that anymore.
yeah. I always shoot for 4, and I try to come in for that. I think for the Owl campaign, I'm going to shoot for 3. Um,
Three's so
because
short though, man. Like even
well,
Critical Role, I think runs 4 hours.
I've been doing a lot of research as to like what's the best on YouTube post stream, and they say a lot of the content running it for 3 hours is best. So I'm
Probably
gonna
two. Yeah.
shoot for 3, but not care if I go over. Because if I shoot for 4 and go over, a 4.5 hour long session to watch on YouTube is pretty hard to sit there and watch, especially since you want your video between 10 and 30 minutes.
Yeah,
Um,
it's one of those things. If you're doing it for the viewers,
yeah,
if you're thinking specifically for stream, 3 hours is probably optimal.
yeah,
There's a number of podcasts that have found that 3 hours is that sweet number. Same thing's probably the case with D&D games. But if you're doing it for your players, 3 hours is really fucking short, in my opinion.
it is, but at the same time, a lot of like my wife wouldn't mind going to bed an hour earlier. I'm sure the other players that I have wouldn't mind ending an hour earlier as well either. So I think for the group that I have streaming, it'll be fine. But like I said, I'm gonna shoot for 3 and not care if I go over,
Mhm.
and come close to 4. I think most nights.
Yeah. I just know that
Um,
I'm disappointed if we don't have at least 5 hours of D&D.
oh yeah, if I had my option, it'd be like 6 hour shots.
Yeah. There you go.
But that's
Just
a lot.
do it. Yeah, do it in 6 hours, and then when you put the videos online, just split it in half.
Yeah. The other thought is that I don't want to run out of content since I'm developing this as I go.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
don't want to burn through stuff.
Yep.
Um,
Typically, if my games run short for whatever reason, if they're less than 5 hours, it's because I either ran out of content or the timing just sort of works because if they start on the next portion of it, then we're going for several more hours.
yeah. So I want to talk about the games that I ran today. Um, but I want you to come up with a topic first because I'm lazy.
Okay. Well, we should definitely be talking about the other. I know this is the D&D podcast. It's a D&D podcast, but we're going to talk video games at least a little bit.
Okay.
Just because of Dark Alliance is coming out.
Meat came out.
Yeah, well, it came out. We played it on stream last Tuesday. What did you think of it?
Uh, I don't know yet. It's 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 a hack and slash game. It's very weird that loot grinding is. I'd say it's very weird that loot grinding is now like a move to the single player aspect, but that's kind of what Diablo was. And
Yeah,
it's just weird to me. It just feels like it feels kind of out of place in every genre. It's gonna be very fun to play through. I don't know if the going back and playing at harder difficulties for better loot is gonna be a thing that matters. I don't know if that's like a thing players want nowadays. I don't honestly see Diablo 2 Remaster being a hit game that they want it to be. I think it's going to sell quite a bit because people are just going to buy it out of just like,
I'm gonna buy it.
fan loyalty, but I don't
Yeah,
think people are going to play it. Much
I'm
like
gonna buy it, and I'm definitely gonna play through it. If we're lucky, we'll be able to get a few people to play online with. I mean, I enjoyed Diablo, Diablo
I
One,
enjoy it
Diablo Two,
too,
Diablo Three, all of them.
but what I'm trying to say is that when I played Diablo 2, I'll say this. When I was filling out paperwork for background checks, okay, the best way to figure out where I lived at a certain point in time was what video game I was playing and where I was living at that time. So, like, I know for a good portion of my life, I was playing Star Wars Galaxies. Well, I started playing Star Wars Galaxies at my friend Josh's house when I lived with him.
Right.
And I lived there for 3 years when the game went down and was replaced with World of Warcraft. And then I played World of Warcraft at his house and my next house. And the house before Josh, I was playing Diablo 2 for 4.5 decades.
Yeah.
So I could actually break down my life, as sad as it is, by what game I was playing for a while. And I played Diablo 2 from like college until I moved out to Virginia, and for a good couple of years while I was in Virginia. The game isn't going to have that longevity of
No,
let's
no,
go in there
definitely.
and kill and fight and loot and loot and loot and loot. I don't think the remaster is going to have that loyalty, and I don't think Dark Alliance will have that kind of loyalty either.
No, it
People are gonna
definitely will not. No.
Yeah, I just don't think the audience exists for that anymore.
I I think gaming has changed. It's very difficult to get loyalty on a game for that length of time. Getting a year or two out of it, yeah, that's not that difficult. I mean, hell, at this point, we've been on Overwatch probably 3 years, and we still play it most evenings for whatever reason. But yeah, there's nothing else that's you know taking our time. Uh, Overall, I thought that Dark Alliances is pretty fun. It is hack and slash, single player, meh. It's another hack and slash game. It'll buy a few hours. If you're playing it online with friends, that was actually a lot of fun. And just like D&D, I think it is designed as a party game. Like you want other people to play this thing with.
Hmm.
That being said, I was still super disappointed with the lore and the storytelling and everything. And I'm gonna
Well,
drop spoilers. I don't give two
well,
shits.
here's the thing. Did you go back and look at any of the things that we were picking up in the game? Any of the tablets or anything like that? There's like novels written to those tablets. Like when you
Yeah,
look at a goblin on the goblin screen, it like lists like what's going on with goblins on Icewind Dale. There's a lot of effort put into making the lore there, but you just have to go out there and find it.
the lore is there. The lore is fine. I'm just irritated in the absolute rewrites because I grew up reading the Icewind Dale novels. I have
Hmm.
probably actually read the Icewind Dale trilogy more than any other group of novels ever. Just because, I was a fucking teenager when they came out, and I've read them several times since then. Because this game came out, I just now started rereading Icewind Dale.
Hmm.
So, yeah, the fact that they have certain things happen that in this video game that absolutely did not take place. Pretty much everything in the video game did not take place.
Yeah, but all happened. That all happened after the game happens after the novels, right?
As far maybe I'm mistaken. Like, yeah, from my understanding, the video game takes place right after the Icewind Dale novel. If it takes place after Halfling's Gem, that would be all right because
Okay.
After Halfling's Gem, which was the third book, there is some time between it and the next book. So it could have taken place in that time period. If it took place after Icewind Dale, it's been a while since I've read them, but I don't think there was any
So
downtime. I think it immediately went from Icewind Dale to Streams of Silver.
So Dark Alliance is set in 1988, uh, after the first book in the Icewind Dale trilogy.
Yeah, which is not possible because of the fact that immediately they went into Streams of Silver.
Okay. When does the Legacy of the Crystal Shard campaign setting take
I
place?
have no idea. Legacy of the Crystal
Uh,
Shard didn't exist when those novels came out, so
yeah, they did. They came
no,
out.
no.
Yeah.
There was the Crystal Shard, Streams of Silver, and the Halfling's Gem. That was the three novels. Legacy of the Crystal Shard, from my understanding, is fourth ed,
Okay. So yeah, it's fourth ed, and it takes place after the Ghost King.
which is way late. The
Okay.
Ghost King was like, I'm just gonna throw a number out, but that was like novel number 15 or something.
So as the title suggests, this adventure deals with the legacy of the events told in the novels Ari Salvatore, including the Crystal Shard, Passage to Dawn, the Silent Blade, Servant of the Shard, and the Ghost King. Uh, you have not, you don't, you need not have read any of these books to run and enjoy the adventure, but understanding the role of Akar Kessel and the Crystal Shard playing in the history of the region will help help the pieces of the adventure fit together. So I think he comes back in this adventure.
In the video game or in
No,
Legacy of the Crystal Shard?
Legacy of the Crystal Shard.
See, now
Yeah,
if this game is taking place around that time period after Ghost King or around there, sure, that might work.
that's kind of been the feeling that I've been having, is that this game is someone's Legacy of the Crystal Shard campaign. Just brought the video game. Uh which would set it right before the timeline of Rime of the Frostmaiden.
Yeah, I mean, look, hey,
Yeah,
maybe
but no,
maybe
yeah, because a Car Castle comes back as a lich in this.
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
look, that makes way more sense. So this video game does not take place during the Icewind Dale, during the Crystal Shard. It takes place during Legacy of the Crystal Shard, which is not the same thing.
Right.
That makes way more sense, and I have way less complaints about that. You know me, I'm a stickler for canon and shit. Also, one thing that I thought was interesting when playing through the video game, everything keeps calling Wolfgar a reghead, which, as we know from the Icewind Dale uh, campaign that we ran, reghead is that's the barbarians.
Mhm.
Now, when I ran Icewind Dale, I saw they were calling them the reghead barbarians. I was very like, what the fuck are they talking about? Because they were never called that in the novel. They were always elk tribe or wolf tribe. They named specific tribes, but they never called them reghead barbarians that I could recall. So
Mhm.
I just started rereading it. They mentioned the Reghead Glacier, but as far as I've gotten into the book, they never actually called them Reghead barbarians. They were still elk tribe, wolf tribe, specific tribe.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little, and that I don't really care that they're calling them Reghead barbarians. It makes perfect sense that they are because they're from the Reghead Glacier. But it was just something that I didn't understand why they were doing that.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I'm kind of also looking through the table of contents for this adventure because I've always wanted to kind of run this and go back and run this one.
I thought you
Uh,
had run it before.
no, it actually deals with the frostbaiting quite a bit. It looks like.
Sounds like you might need to get a hold of it, get a copy of it, and then run it.
Of course, I have a copy of it.
Well,
Yeah,
you probably do.
100% legal tender. I found it on Amazon. I'll find it on Amazon. I'll put a link in our post to it on Amazon so everyone can buy it and read it.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
honestly, at this point, well, it's fourth edition, so it's probably not very valuable. If it was an earlier edition, it might be expensive as shit.
You actually be surprised. A lot of the fourth edition novels or paperback stuff are going for quite a bit of money.
Actually, now that I think about it, it wouldn't be that hard to convert to fifth because
Nope.
fourth is fifth. So no, okay, I could see that.
And unopened copies, $100. 6 used at 40.
Jeez.
So yeah, I'll link to it for everybody. But good luck.
Yep. Shit gets expensive.
Overall, I enjoy the game. We're gonna play it on stream for a little bit
Yeah.
until we get bored with it, and then uh, that'll be that.
But yeah, I've enjoyed our little bit of time with it.
Yeah,
Oh look, there's a link you just sent me.
I know,
To
right?
Amazon to Legacy of the Crystal Shard.
I wish I would have kept all. Well, I did keep all the fourth edition stuff I got for D&D encounters. I just didn't get that many things. You can get it on DM's Guild for $15, a PDF. So
Oh, that's not bad.
yeah,
Yeah, it's weird. Like my earlier edition stuff, I've kept everything that's second edition other than my birthright stuff because I know I'm never going to use it again. But
yeah,
my third edition stuff, I unloaded a lot of it. I kept a lot of the stuff that I use for lore and world building. I kept my player's handbook, DMG, and monster manual just in case I ever wanted to run again. But most of the other secondary books I had, I ditched them at some point. Do you
yeah.
do that with earlier edition stuff that you got?
No, I keep everything. I'm a
You
hoarder.
just, yeah, you're a hoarder. Keep it all.
Keep it all. Never get rid of it.
Like me
That's
with
bad
fucking
manners.
it's like me with magic cards. Keep it all.
Oh, so speaking of Magic cards, I was uh, at Synergy Gamers here in Charleston,
Yes.
uh, and I was picking up the items that they are giving me for the giveaway that I'm doing here
Next
soon,
weekend. Yeah.
next weekend on our stream. I'm starting it at 10 a.m. on July 3rd as an anniversary stream, and just be running it all day. and I'll be giving away a ton of stuff. I got like 3 different dice sets, 2 metal, 1 D&D, the Silverhand dice set to give away.
Nice.
2 dice trays. Giving away 3 copies of the Wild Beyond the Witchlight book. One will be given away on Facebook if you follow us on Facebook. One will be given away on Twitter if you follow us on Twitter. And I'll give away one on the stream. So yeah, really excited for that. But while we were there, we were talking about the Forgotten Realms set coming out, and they're doing a cosplay contest at our store. All right, I don't know if you want to come down for that because
I seriously doubt I could.
because they want us to be judges there.
Oh man, I would.
So you think about it. I've already agreed that I'll be there.
When is this?
July 16th.
Oh, that's so soon. I won't say I won't say that I'm not going to. I'll have to think about it.
Yeah. So that's the pre-release weekend. They have a cosplay contest. I'm going as Staladred. I'll be there in costume, and we'll be live streaming some of the games we'll play. I'll be doing box openings, and we're gonna just have a good time there. So that's another stream we're doing special on the 16th. And that was crazy. While I was also in the store too, I actually did something I've never done before. Let me first say this: I only did it because of peer pressure, because that's how things work. Have you ever done Magic Pack Roulette?
Magic Pack Roulette.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think so.
Magic Pack Roulette is when you get like 5-6 people at least to all buy an expensive pack of Magic, and we bought whatever the Commander one was, Modern Commander.
Commander Legacy or some shit.
Commander, yeah, $7 a pack.
Oh, that's cheap.
All right, so $7 a pack, and everyone's basically got to go through the pack, and whoever has the highest value card in the pack wins all the cards.
Oh no, I've definitely not done that. $7 a pack. I might do that once.
I did it once. I was like, you know what? I'm definitely in. I'm here. Let's have some fun. Well, I won.
Oh, nice.
So I won. I got 7 packs of Commander cards here.
Yep.
The card that I won with was like only like $10.
Oh. Well, hopefully you got something worth more than that out of the other packs.
No, because then they would have won.
Oh, I got you. Was it based on? I thought it was based on mana value. It was based on dollar value. Well,
Dollar value, yeah.
So that right there is why I don't buy packs of cards anymore.
But I got 7 packs, so I was happy with that. It was very, very fun.
Good.
And I today when I was at the Green Dragon here in Charleston running the Scarab game day, I bought a random pack of the same thing again. No, I bought a Strixhaven, and I got a Temmit's Protection, whatever card that is, from the new set.
I have no idea, man.
Full art card worth $25. I was like, yeah,
nice.
Maybe I'll get lucky when I open up all my Forgotten Realms stuff.
I, unlike many of the D&D characters I play, am not a gambler at all. I don't really enjoy gambling.
Yeah, I definitely don't suggest it, but I had $7 burning a hole in my pocket, so I was like, I'll do it.
Yeah, like $7 one time. All right, I could see that if everybody enjoys it. But
what was really weird too is that like I was like, oh, cool. It's like gonna be like $4 for the pack, and they're like $7. I was like, what has happened to Magic Pack costs?
Yep. So you ran a game up there today, actually, would have been, or Sunday, whatever day this is.
Well, when this comes out, it's Tuesday.
Yeah. Well, anyway, you
ran last Sunday.
Yes, this past Sunday. Hint, hint. You ran a game. So what did you do?
I ran the playtest of the Owl campaign.
Oh, okay. Well, who? Damn, I was gonna make a who joke, but I got nothing.
One of my players showed up to kind of like be a rules lawyer, help me out, like as always. My player Dimitri, always greatly appreciated to have him out here doing that stuff. Had I think they were brother and sisters with their kids out here. And they had 2 kids. They were like 10ish, and then one from when I came out when I did the one shot last in June or whatever it was.
Yeah, I remember. Yep.
She came back out and she played, and she had her own character rolled up just for this. She rolled up a Asmir cleric, I think, or paladin, one of those
What is
two.
it? Yeah, what's a cleric?
Uh, no, sorry, no, she was an Asmir warlock, and
Oh,
she took Pact of the Archfey.
okay.
Because she knew the Feywild was involved. So I was like, okay. She's like, I just couldn't find any Archfey. So I was like, hold on, I got a book for that. I pulled out my 4th edition Feywild book. I go, here's the only one in print.
Fab. There's a
Figure it
couple
out.
of Oberon. There's plenty of them. So what's a cleric? What's a cleric?
What's a paladin?
Yeah. Well, I don't know what clerics are. Nobody ever plays them in my games. So.
Oh, they didn't have any healing. They had 0 healing.
Okay, that's normal. That's how all of my campaigns are.
So I was like, okay, let's this is a play test. This is gonna be fun. I did the intro to everything, and it was going well. They had this obsession with trying to break into one of the owl magic shop, and because it was always closed and down. And in the back of my mind, the character that I wrote for this is a snow owl, but she like always wears like a cloak, and she has a mask of a demon. So they had this obsession with going to the magic shop, but eventually the parents were able to kind of like, oh, okay, let's actually go in there. So we actually, I'm being vague with what the encounters were, just because you need to tune in on July 10th when we run it for the first time on our stream, twitch.tv/Grumpy Dungeon Masters, at 8 o'clock on Saturday, again, July 10th, and watch it. So
yeah,
they were doing their encounters. I threw like double the monsters at them because I had 6 players, and it was too much. But it was good. They all survived. They seemed they had a lot of fun. It went pretty well. I enjoyed all the monsters that I made for it. Unique monsters, not any books and stuff like that. So they worked out pretty well. And the most entertaining thing again was the girl that showed up back up. I codenamed her Unicorn because she wears a unicorn headband. So
okay.
does
does it light up? Is it
yes,
is it
yes,
one of the
does.
wrestling ones? Is it a New Day one?
No, it's not a New Day one.
Okay, it should be, but anyway.
I don't think she watches wrestling. So the rogue kind of snuck up to the final room, peered inside, saw the big bad end for the thing, and kind of like started the encounter. And I rolled a 2 on the big bad for it moving. So everybody got a chance to act before it. So they stood in the room outside the big bad and all ready to actions for like when it came out to shoot it, hit it, whatever.
Literally my life.
Unicorn did the best thing. She said, as soon as I see it, I want to cast sleep on it. And I was like, okay. So I said,
What initiative was she? Yeah.
centered directly on top of it. She said, yes. I was like, okay, great. And I moved right past that. Everyone else did their ready to action. She was like 3rd.
Yeah,
So
I know how this goes. Go ahead.
the boss came charging through, like busted out the door, and 2 ready to actions went off, bloodied it, and the sleep spell went off. Now they have been beating the crap the entire time. Not a single one of them was not bloodied. Every one of the party was like 1, 2, 4, or 5 hit points tops. All right. So she sleeps, and on that 5d8, she rolled like a 28. All right. So everyone got put to sleep, except for 2 players that were actually elves. So they didn't get put to sleep. So with the remaining hit points, I actually put the boss to sleep. So the the elf players that didn't get put to sleep, basically woke everybody up. They surrounded the big bad boss, and they all just stabbed at it until it died.
I mean,
Uh,
that's how you do it. Yeah.
they did some like 45 damage in like one round on it. Like they all attacked at the same time, and that's what happened.
Yeah, you have to
Oh
be
yeah,
careful with your placement of the sleep spell because it does not give two shits about the targets.
it was so great. And the best part is too is like when I moved right by it, I kind of looked over at my normal player Dimitri, and he just looked back at me and smiled. Like, yeah, he knows what's gonna happen.
Yep.
Let's let's let this player learn through hard knocks.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's the best way, especially when it comes to spell casting, is you let them make the mistakes.
But it was obvious you didn't actually read the spell because I said, "Okay, it's your turn to cast sleep," and then she rolled a d20.
Had no idea how it even worked.
And it's like, no, that's not how that works. You got to roll
Yep.
5d8.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Rule. I mean, it's always a chore running for kids. The last time I played with kids, mind you, I haven't run with it. I haven't run any kids since I was a kid. But the last time I played with kids, it was literally the exact same thing you were just discussing. Uh, they wanted to go steal things from the magic shop, which is the exact same thing you had happen. Like that was their entire focus. Be damned everything else that's going on. They just want to go steal from the magic shop, which ended up going terribly for them. They didn't die, but they got caught. Yeah, because there are things like alarm spells and other stuff.
Yeah, the kid that was playing the rogue was doing that quite a bit. Oh, I want to break into the maid shop. I had one of the basically the mayor of the town. When he heard that a MacGuffin was taken, he was like, "Okay, I have to go speak to someone. If you'll excuse me, I must go now." And he runs off and is like, "Okay, I want to follow him and be sneaky." And I'm like, "Okay, go ahead and roll." And I was gonna give him the best opportunity he could, but
Yeah.
he gets like a 4.
Oh no.
So like, yeah, he spied. He's like, "Ambassador, you shouldn't be following us." And then like later on, he actually pickpocketed the her name is Oatmeal. She's a rabbit folk that runs the bathhouse in this town.
Okay.
And one of the things I decided to do, which will be an aside in the publication when I write it, is that people from the Fae don't deal with gold and gold
Right.
coins. There's an entire city made of gold. Gold is worthless. It's just a rock to them.
Yeah, I
You
think we
know.
discussed this last week. I still don't necessarily agree with that assumption
Right.
because there's nothing that says that
And
they
I,
don't
and I
do
get that, and I keep finding missed messages on it because I keep looking as a what do Fae deal in currency? It's like, oh, your story is your name, things like that.
Yeah, I'm
So
still I still say children. They deal in children.
so um so I was like, okay, I'm sorry, I had oatmeal only accept silver, and so the one I was like, yeah, I got silver, so he pays for his like his time in the bathhouse, which is gonna be a short rest, and you get all your hit points back and bonuses and stuff like that. Um, and the other couple others was like, well, is there anything else we can do? Um, and then I had Oatmeal go, well, you can give me your greatest story. And
Perfect.
and then the unicorn was like, oh, I got that. And then she told this wonderful story about Pickles the halfling. And now that this is my story, not hers, um, she was adventuring one day when she found an overturned wagon, and inside she found a pickle barrel, and inside that pickle barrel was a halfling. And the halfling's name is now Pickles. And Pickles is always happy and jubilant and just ready to go on her adventures forever. And one day they saw a carnival and they went to that carnival and they had a great time. I was like, cool, that's a wonderful story. Thank you for giving it to me. And then she kind of looked at me and was like, what do you mean? I was like, your character now no longer remembers that story. It still
Welcome
happened to you,
welcome to the Fae.
but it's now Oatmeal's story. You gave it to her. But you can go into the bathhouse now. And then she looked at me. She got real sad. It's like you still know Pickles and what you did at the carnival. You just don't remember how you found Pickles. or how Pickles got his name. And then she looked real sad, and I felt real bad.
No, hey, you gotta do it the hard way. Live and learn. Don't make deals with the Fae.
And the two adults were just like, "Can we do some chores for you?" And they're like, "Yes, absolutely. I got chores you can do."
Well, yes, these
Um,
towels, these need to be folded, and these towels need to be cleaned. It's a
the rogue was like,
bathhouse.
"I'm gonna pickpocket oatmeal." I was like, "Go on ahead, little man." And so he went and rolled his sleight of hand check to bump into her and like pick her pocket. 25. I'm like,
Uh,
okay. I rolled to see if I can catch that. I rolled a 2.
yep.
Even I give her a +5, which is probably the best oatmeal would have. Like, yeah, you picked her pocket. You found 8 silver.
Yeah.
You're good.
Hey, there should have been a tiny storybook in there as well with the exact same story that was just told to her.
That's I see. I also told the players like if you guys do stuff that's amazing, I'm gonna add it in. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So next time, if somebody makes that same deal with them and somebody pickpockets oatmeal, they got to find the story that was just told to them.
Overall, it was great. It was good meeting people again. There was another table running. I don't know what they were running. Um, what that table looked like, our group of just grumpy DMs and grumpy players.
Ah,
They're
perfect.
playing something.
That's probably the regulars.
No, the regulars weren't there because the regulars play Icewind Dale.
Oh, okay.
They weren't playing Icewind Dale. But they looked like they had a good time. Oh, before I forget, I have another story from the game I played with. Everyone's been naughty.
All right.
So remember how last podcast we talked about the fact that I turned on that gravity fish and basically ruined the entire encounter forever?
Yeah, we talked about it. We've talked about the gravity wizards for 3 podcasts now.
Yeah. So in this one, we had everyone's playing a subclass out of my publication that I wrote.
Perfect.
But our friend Chris Beasley was playing a sorcerer.
All right.
All right. And so when we snuck up on Krampus's little hut, and Krampus is inside, all just like going crazy, uh, Chris Beasley just goes, "Hey, I got this great idea. I'm going to cast Hunger of Hadar inside. You guys hold the door shut." So he casts Hunger of Hadar inside, which fills the entire place.
Right.
And then Shelly's ranger, who's the only one that has strength, holds the door shut. I run over, start grabbing boards, and start nailing the door shut and sealing it with all my tinkering tools and stuff. And the exact same scenario happened to Mike again, where like the boss is in the room, they can't get out, and just every turn, they take
Just
some
taking
damage.
damage. And Hunger Hadar is not a massive amount of damage, but if you're in there long
It was
enough,
40. It was 46.
yeah, yeah,
And so like eventually he did the smart thing and just had like Krampus beat his way through the door,
yeah.
but it still took like 4 rounds.
Jeez. Oh, so you
so
got you go ahead. Go ahead.
so it was just funny how like 2 games in a row the same thing happened
Or
to Mike.
you're gonna make him
uh
never want to DM anymore.
Got to keep
Uh,
it on brand.
so you got to play your gnomish tinker. They're not tinker. What were they called?
Toymaker, yeah.
Toymaker. The Toymaker. How did that work out? Were you able to do some broke ass shit?
Not well. I mean, the toys really aren't broke. I don't
No,
think.
I'm just saying, were you able to do any of the fun toys? Like the time I got to, where we got to play it, yeah, there was a couple of interesting ones pulled out. Somebody I know got, like Johnny was playing it. He ended up getting the eggs, the the useless eggs. Uh, he got a couple of good ones as well though, but we didn't get to
um.
we didn't get to see a lot of the variety of them.
So what I did is um trying to find the
Yeah, I put you on the spot here. You got to look up all the
yeah.
different toys. That it was 7 or 8 different possibilities, if I recall right.
All right. So, do you remember the Final Fantasy anime? It was called Final Fantasy Unlimited.
I don't think I ever saw that one.
Okay. It was like almost like an OVA style anime.
Yeah.
It wasn't the best.
I've seen all the Final Fantasy animated movies. I've seen all of them. I didn't know there was a show.
Yeah, it was a show. It wasn't terribly long. It was only
Yeah. Yeah, if it's an
25
OVA,
episodes. Yeah.
yeah, okay.
So like a good season.
Yeah.
So in there, uh, there's a guy called uh, Kuroki Kaze, I think. Kuroki Kaze. Um, and he's like the the brooding guy in the back with the mysterious background that's missing an eye with the red hair. That trope anime
Right, yep. Yeah.
protagonist. All right, straight out of Outlaw Star. He looks like the guy from Outlaw Star.
Alright.
He even has like his right arm is just this giant gun. Okay, and every episode when they fight the monster of the week, it always ends the same way, where this dude jumps up and starts making these grand proclamations of like, "I've chosen the spice to end your life" or something along those lines, and
Okay.
then like he pulls out this giant gun and like three slots open up on it, and then he reaches down on his belt and like smacks these like little containers of spice, and like the spices be called like Black Orchard and Red Blood, and they all go into the gun, and then it seals up fires and it does a summon. Okay, so so that is the reference, and that is how I play the Toymaker. Every time I reached into the bag, I was like, "I've assembled a toy that will bring you joy," and I reach into the bag and I'd pull out the random toy. I pulled out the dice twice.
Okay.
I pulled out Elminster once, and I pulled out Guinevere.
Oh, that's so good.
Um, but yeah, most of the time, I was just stabbing things with the rapier because it just kind of made more sense, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, like, you want to use the toy summons properly. You don't want to use them in every fight because you have a limited amount of times you can do it. So, it makes
The
sense to sort of hold off on it.
I'll have to send a link to the Hero Forge guy that I made for him. He just looks the best. He's a man with male pattern baldness. There's big bushy mustache and like a big ears and just like big facial features. And then like he's got the cigar, and then he's got like his padded cloak on, and he's got a riot shield, which I kind of think
Goodness.
it's more like a shield that you can just look through and solder on the other side of. And then he's got like bags and boxes all around him. I played him kind of like this grumpy curmudgeon who is like pro using children for manufacturing toys.
Of course,
He
yeah.
when we got to Santa Claus's workshop, being the desolate place that it is, with the factories churning out like black smoke and stuff, I had my guy shed a single tear and say, "It's so beautiful here." I really turned him into a jerk, and like I would run over to things and like just shove them in the bag, like just to for random scrap and whatnot.
Uh-huh.
Like I'd pick something up, it goes, "Hey, this is wonderful. Can I have it?" And they're like, "Sure," and smash it and then shove it in the bag.
Find a use for it in a while.
Um, it was a lot of fun playing that grumpy curmudgeon, and he was torn because he wanted to be Santa and continue Santa's escapades of uh, just mindless child labor. It was a lot of fun, and again, Mike running for us was great. I'm sure he wants to get back to
So
being a
what's
player.
next weekend?
Uh, Next
That's
weekend during our
Oh, that's right. You
anniversary
have
stream.
that's right. You got the anniversary stream where you have guests coming on.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing Dread of the Ice Devil, which I just looked up right now has sold 388 copies.
Not bad. Not
Yeah, I
bad.
need to sell 500 copies to get to gold,
Give it
and
time. Give it time. It'll get there.
if I can do that, that'd be great. It's currently 40% off.
For
Um,
for all the people who are going to be playing, I'll tell you now, watch your ankles. I know I've said this before. I will always say it when talking about Dread of the Ice Devils. Watch your ankles. Uh, get you some like metal shin plates. Put them everywhere. It's the only way to survive. Only way.
so when I was at the Greek Dragon today after I ran the game, I bought another box of Rime of the Frostmaiden miniatures. And I called my wife. I was like, "Hey, I bought another box of miniatures of Rime of the Frostmaiden," and she was like, what on earth are you buying miniatures for? You don't play D&D in person anymore. I was like, I literally just did. And she's like, you know what I mean? I was like, yeah, but I really want a Mind Master. I want to ship it to Jay.
Oh, you son of a bitch!
I'm here for your ankles. Ah.
Yep, I'll make sure next time you ask me for my address, I'm like, no, you don't get it. I'm moved. I don't live here anymore.
The Mind Master plushie.
Hey, that'd be kind of cool. A Mind Master plushie. I don't even like Mind Masters at all, but I'd be all right with that.
There is going to be a couple special announcements that are going to happen during the stream. There's going to be one that's going to happen at the end of the game. That if you like Dread of the Ice Devil a lot, you'll definitely want to be in for that.
Yeah,
But
this is a stream that you definitely want to watch. Trust me on
yeah,
that. It's
I
I will
hope I have
actually
energy.
I will almost certainly be coming. Like I won't be able to watch it when you're streaming the game, unfortunately, because I'll be running my D&D game hopefully.
You
Um,
all need to sit and watch it.
but this no, that's not gonna happen. But I actually probably will go back and watch this one.
So it's going to be great. There's crap. I just had something else I wanted to say.
I'm glad I
Oh,
could ruin it for you.
just as a quick note. So by the time this comes out, it will be the 30th of June. Starting July 1st is the next RPG Writer Workshop session.
Oh yeah.
And I think I've plugged this before.
Yep.
But definitely, if you've ever thought about writing a D&D campaign and just don't, or D&D adventure and just don't know, where do I begin? How do I do it? What's involved? This course will walk you through doing that. And they have a revamped course for this year. It looks fantastic. I've already seen most of it. They got a lot of new instructors, and they have multiple new paths now that you can take. You can still do the free path if you want, and that's just kind of like some lessons, and you're kind of on your own. Or you can pay $35, and you could basically go down one of three paths. One is publishing on your own. One is publishing to DM's Guild, and the new one is publishing on Drive Through RPG your own Call of Cthulhu
Yep.
campaign, which just looks fantastic. And I'm really tempted to go that route, but at the same time, I'm going to be doing the DM's Guild one just because I have to kind of stay on
Stay on
brand
brand.
with D,
Yeah.
yeah, D&D.
I
But
will say to anyone who, seriously, if you ever want to write a module, if you ever have an idea for a module, if you ever want to become a D&D writer, do this workshop. It is very much worth it.
yeah,
I'm ADD. I will probably never go through it, but I can absolutely guarantee you, if you want to get published, this is the way to go.
yep. And like I said, there's a huge community behind it right now on DM's Guild. They chose the top 200 publications from the last 2 years of products. I'm number 5, by the way. And they put them all for 40% off, and I sold like 20 since then. So even if you're unable to market well, there's still a huge community behind you that's still going to try their best to support you,
Yep.
and keep you going. So I'm really excited, and I'm doing it again this year just because I want to support them. So I'm going to give them some money somehow. Um, and going through the course, just going through the lessons, even just reading them, you always learn something new, and it's always good to have a lot of practice.
It's gonna be
So,
a busy week for us. Busy
mm,
week. Got the workshop. Got our stream next Saturday. Come check us out. Even I'll be making an appearance at some point during the day on Saturday.
you better.
I'll be there. Once I get up, I'll join you. We'll play some games. We'll talk some D&D. Maybe do a podcast or something.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. It'll be fun.
All right. Thanks for listening. Bye, Craig. Bye, Chris.
Yeah. Bye, Craig. You bastard.
Hey, guys. Thanks for listening to the podcast. check us out on Facebook at.
There's no at Facebook. It's just facebook.com/Grumpy Dungeon Masters.
And on Twitter.
That'd be at Grumpy_DMs.
And on Instagram.
At Grumpy Dungeon Masters.
And also be sure to follow us on Twitch.
Twitch.tv/Grumpy Dungeon Masters, where we play Rime of the Frostmaiden every Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Fuck yeah.